Hiccup, the National Identification Authority (NIA) will start the national identification registration process across the country in the next 30 days. In furtherance of this, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, presented 62 Nissan and Toyota pickups to the NIA in Accra.
The process leading to the issuance of ID cards to all Ghanaians started in 2003 with the setting up of the National Identification Authority. This was after the passage of the National Identification Authority Act 2006, Act 707. The primary reason for the issuance of the National ID card is to facilitate the integration of all public sector or civil operations, law enforcement, corporate and business applications and systems to the National Identification System and the provision of general identification services. Despite the long period of delays, operations bounced back in 2017 with the authority issuing the first biometric national identification card to the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, in 2017. The Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, Dr. John Uforit Tinkran, explained the process one must go through to register for the National ID card.
There is a very important component of the registration process I would want to mention, and it has to do with citizens who genuinely do not have any legal verification documents. The law makes provision for such persons through what is referred to as the vouching for process. The authority shall require a relative of the applicant to identify the applicant under oath for not having any of the verification documents, or two persons determined by the board to identify the applicant under oath where the applicant has no known relatives.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, said the national identification process with other digital platforms introduced by the government will help in formalizing the Ghanaian economy.
You really will not see any modern economy where the population, whether indigenous or foreign, is not uniquely identified. Everybody has a unique ID number. And this is what Ghana, after, all these years of independence, almost 61 years of independence, we have not been able to put this thing in place. But it is one of those things, one of those critical pillars that nobody is going to force you to put in place. If you do it, that's your benefit. If you don't do it, that's your problem.
The 62 pickups by the government to the National Identification Authority are expected to aid the NIA in the national identification registration process in the country. The vehicles are made up of 5 Toyota Hiace and 57 Nissan hard-body vehicles. Government also presented motorbikes and generators to aid the operations in the rural areas. According to the authority, the task ahead requires adequate resources such as vehicles and other logistics to facilitate its work, and the pickups will further enhance its work in the coming months.